Welcome to the new Sentinel, where deep dives meet clear, practical intelligence.
Today, we examine the Companion, August 6th, 2026 Executive Order.
Its stated focus is ending birth tourism through visa restrictions and entry denials.
It also highlights enforcement tools targeting travel for the purpose of giving birth in the United States.
We will treat this as an intelligence report, not legal advice.
And we will use two frameworks, MOST analysis and SWOT analysis.
MOST means mission, objectives, strategy, and tactics.
SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Let's begin with the core issue, birth tourism.
In policy terms, that means travel allegedly intended to secure citizenship for a child.
The order described here targets intent, travel patterns, documentation, and border decisions.
That makes this both an immigration policy issue and an enforcement operations issue.
The first intelligence judgment is simple. Intent becomes the central battleground.
Exactly. A traveler's stated purpose, medical plans, finances, and timing may receive scrutiny.
Visa restrictions would likely affect applicants before travel begins.
Entry denials would affect travelers at ports of entry.
Enforcement tools would shape how agencies detect, document, and act on suspected cases.
So the policy chain runs from consulates, to carriers, to borders, to post-entry enforcement.
Let's move into MOST analysis, beginning with mission.
The apparent mission is to deter travel primarily intended to give birth in America.
A second mission is to reinforce the integrity of visa adjudication.
A third mission is to reduce perceived abuse of temporary visitor categories.
The mission also signals political resolve on immigration control.
That signal matters because enforcement policies often work through deterrence and visibility.
Now objectives. The first objective is reducing suspected birth tourism trips.
The second objective is identifying visa applicants whose travel purpose appears inconsistent.
The third objective is empowering officers to deny entry when intent is questioned.
The fourth objective is creating a record for enforcement and future visa decisions.
A fifth objective may be coordination across agencies involved in travel screening.
That coordination is crucial because fragmented screening produces inconsistent outcomes.
Now strategy. The strategy appears to combine deterrence, screening, and discretionary enforcement.
Deterrence comes from making consequences visible before someone applies or travels.
Screening comes from questioning, documentation review, and risk indicators.
Discretionary enforcement comes from empowering officials to make case-by-case decisions.
This strategy is strongest when rules are clear and training is consistent.
It is weakest when intent is inferred from incomplete or ambiguous evidence.
Now tactics. Visa restrictions may include closer review of visitor visa applications.
Entry denials may follow if officers conclude the travel purpose was misrepresented.
Enforcement tools may include interviews, records checks, and referral procedures.
They may also involve reviewing travel itineraries, medical plans, and financial resources.
But the word may is important here.
We should not assume operational details beyond the described policy focus.
The tactical challenge is separating legitimate medical travel from prohibited purpose.
And separating pregnancy itself from intent to misuse a visa.
That distinction matters legally, operationally, and ethically.
It also matters diplomatically, because foreign travelers and governments will watch implementation.
Let's shift to SWOT analysis, starting with strengths.
First, strength. The policy has a clear enforcement target.
It names travel for the purpose of giving birth in the United States.
Second, strength. It addresses the issue at multiple points in the travel process.
Consular screening can happen before a traveler reaches the airport.
Border screening can happen before admission into the country.
Post-decision records can affect future applications or investigations.
Third, strength. Deterrent messaging can reduce attempts without requiring mass enforcement.
If travelers believe scrutiny is serious, some may avoid risky plans.
Fourth, strength. It gives officers a policy basis for consistent questioning.
Consistency is important when sensitive personal circumstances are involved.
Fifth, strength. It may disrupt commercial operators that market birth tourism packages.
Those operators depend on predictable travel access and low inspection risk.
Now, weaknesses. The biggest weakness is proving purpose.
A person can be pregnant and still have legitimate reasons to travel.
A person can seek medical care without necessarily violating visa rules.
So, enforcement must avoid treating pregnancy alone as proof.
Another weakness is officer discretion under pressure.
Different officers may evaluate similar facts differently.
That can produce inconsistent denials, complaints, or litigation risk.
A third weakness is data quality.
Travel purpose is often self-reported and difficult to verify quickly.
A fourth weakness is resource burden.
More interviews and reviews mean more time, staffing, and training demands.
A fifth weakness is public perception.
If implemented harshly, the policy could appear punitive toward pregnant travelers.
Now, opportunities. The policy creates an opportunity to clarify visitor visa standards.
Clear standards help applicants understand what is permitted and what is not.
It also creates an opportunity to improve interagency information sharing.
Better information can reduce both missed cases and wrongful suspicion.
There is an opportunity to target commercial facilitation networks.
That approach focuses on organizers rather than only individual travelers.
There is also an opportunity to modernize training for sensitive interviews.
Officers need tools for careful questioning without discriminatory assumptions.
Another opportunity is diplomatic communication.
Foreign governments and travelers can be told clearly what conduct creates risk.
Now, threats. The first threat is legal challenge.
Policies involving entry, intent, pregnancy, and citizenship can attract serious scrutiny.
The second threat is operational overreach.
If officers rely on weak indicators, legitimate travelers may be denied.
The third threat is evasion.
Facilitators may alter scripts, routes, documents, or travel timing.
The fourth threat is diplomatic backlash.
Countries whose nationals are heavily affected may object publicly or privately.
The fifth threat is reputational damage.
A high-profile mistaken denial could dominate the policy narrative.
Now let's assess stakeholders.
For consular officers, the order increases pressure to evaluate intent carefully.
For border officers, it creates sharper scrutiny at admission.
For travelers, it increases the importance of truthful, consistent documentation.
For airlines and carriers, it may increase uncertainty around admissibility outcomes.
For medical providers, it may affect patients who travel for maternity care.
For facilitators, it creates business risk and possible enforcement exposure.
For policymakers, success depends on measurable outcomes and defensible implementation.
Let's talk indicators.
Potential indicators could include late-stage travel, vague itineraries, or inconsistent statements.
They could include evidence of planned delivery arrangements or birth tourism package services.
They could include insufficient funds for stated medical and living expenses.
But indicators are not proof by themselves.
That is the point I want to underline firmly.
Risk indicators should trigger review, not automatic judgment.
A disciplined process protects enforcement credibility.
Now let's examine likely implementation risks.
Training gaps are the first risk.
If guidance is unclear, frontline decisions may vary widely.
Documentation gaps are the second risk.
Weak records make decisions harder to defend later.
Bias risk is the third.
Nationality, gender, appearance, or pregnancy status cannot substitute for evidence.
Communication risk is the fourth.
If public messaging is vague, travelers may misunderstand the actual standard.
Capacity risk is the fifth.
More screening can slow visa processing and border operations.
Now the intelligence estimate.
Short term, the order may produce immediate deterrent effects.
People considering travel for birth tourism may delay, cancel, or modify plans.
Medium term, facilitators may adapt their messaging and logistics.
They may advise clients to use more conventional itineraries or less visible arrangements.
Long term, effectiveness depends on evidence quality and enforcement consistency.
If enforcement is precise, the policy may sustain credibility.
If enforcement is broad or uneven, backlash may weaken it.
Let's convert this into policy recommendations.
Recommendation 1. Define prohibited intent in plain operational language.
Recommendation 2. Separate pregnancy from evidence of visa misuse.
Recommendation 3. Create standardized interview guidance.
Recommendation 4. Document the factual basis for denials carefully.
Recommendation 5. Prioritize commercial facilitation networks where evidence supports it.
Recommendation 6. Provide public guidance for lawful medical travel.
Recommendation 7. Monitor denial patterns for inconsistency or discriminatory impact.
Recommendation 8. Build feedback loops between consular and border personnel.
Recommendation 9. Track metrics beyond raw denial numbers.
Metrics should include appeal patterns, complaint trends, and enforcement outcomes.
Recommendation 10. Prepare diplomatic talking points before controversies emerge.
Good policy implementation anticipates friction before it becomes crisis.
Now let's discuss red lines for enforcement.
The first red line is using pregnancy itself as conclusive evidence.
The second is relying on nationality stereotypes.
The third is ignoring legitimate medical travel explanations.
The fourth is failing to document the basis for decisions.
The fifth is inconsistent communication between visa offices and ports of entry.
Crossing those lines could damage the policy's legal and public standing.
Now, what would success look like?
Success would mean fewer organized birth tourism attempts.
It would mean clearer applicant expectations and fewer misrepresentations.
It would mean defensible visa refusals and entry denials.
It would mean commercial facilitators face higher operational risk.
It would also mean legitimate travelers are not swept into wrongful enforcement.
That balance is the hardest part.
What would failure look like?
Failure would mean broad suspicion replacing evidence-based evaluation.
It would mean inconsistent denials across similar cases.
It would mean lawsuits, diplomatic complaints, and confused public messaging.
It would mean facilitators adapt faster than agencies can respond.
And it would mean the policy becomes symbolic rather than effective.
Let's place this in a broader security lens.
Immigration enforcement depends on authority, intelligence, discretion, and legitimacy.
Authority without legitimacy can create resistance.
Discretion without training can create uneven outcomes.
Intelligence without verification can create false positives.
But coordination with clear standards can improve both fairness and enforcement.
That is the strategic center of gravity.
The policy must identify intent without turning sensitive personal facts into shortcuts.
Now we'll deliver the bottom line.
The order's strength is its focused deterrent message.
Its vulnerability is the difficulty of proving travel purpose.
Its opportunity is more disciplined screening and network-focused enforcement.
Its threat is overreach, inconsistency, and reputational blowback.
The most analysis shows a mission of deterrence and visa integrity.
The objectives are reduction, detection, denial, documentation, and coordination.
The strategy is layered enforcement across the travel pathway.
The tactics are interviews, document review, risk indicators, and case referrals.
The SWOT analysis shows both practical value and serious implementation risk.
For decision makers, the essential question is not whether scrutiny increases.
The essential question is whether scrutiny remains evidence-based, consistent, and defensible.
For travelers, the essential lesson is honesty and clarity about purpose.
For agencies, the essential lesson is disciplined documentation and careful training.
For observers, the key metric is not rhetoric.
The key metric is whether enforcement reduces abuse without punishing legitimate travel.
You are listening to the New Sentinel.
We cover everything from pop culture to military operations and global security.
Each episode is built for depth, context, and practical understanding.
If you value informed discussion, tune in, view, subscribe, and comment.
And if you are an entrepreneur, we can help advertise your product or service.
Reach audiences who care about serious analysis and engaging storytelling.
That concludes our intelligence report on the Birth Tourism Executive Order.
Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and keep watching the horizon.